Public Library again, and I have another book for you. Maybe even a second book, too. We'll see. But the first book we have is called Negative Cat. And it's written and illustrated by Sophie Blackall. Does it look like a cat maybe you have at home? We open the book and look at all the pictures of cats there. Wow. And then we open it up again and we find that this book was published by Nancy Paulsen Books. So we will, you know what we will do. We will thank them for allowing us to read it here virtually for you. So we open up the book. On day 427 of asking for a cat, cat? Meow. Milk cat? Oh, my parents finally gave in. Please. And they say, okay. You have to feed it, they said, and clean out the litter, and also keep your room tidy, and write to your grandma, and read for 20 minutes every day. It better not have fleas. Ugh, I'm not so good at reading. Words only make sense when I read them out loud slowly, and the kids at school stare and laugh at me. But I agreed to the rules before my parents changed their minds. Yes, I'll do it all. I'm getting a cat. I'm getting a cat. I am getting a cat. There are a million cats in the rescue shelter, and I want to take them all home. But Mom says, only one. And then I find him. The name on the cage is Pookie, but that is no name for this cat. This cat is Maximilian Augustus Xavier, and we will call him Max. Can you see Max? And when we get home, I'm excited to show Max his bed and his scratching post and his litter tray and his scent of the sea, frisky bits. Yum. And the next day, I surprise Max with a toy mouse. Well, he's not surprised. And I tickle him with a feather. He is not ticklish. And I tell him all of my best jokes. And, well, he doesn't even smile. And at school, my friends go on about how excellent their cats are. Camilla can wear her cat like a scarf. Jake's cat can fetch a stick. And Emilio's cat has his own Instagram page. Wow. My cat stares at the wall. He's kind of negative, your cat, my sister says. And on the weekend, Dad lets Max have the best parts of the newspaper. Uncle Dave knits him a sweater, and Mom lets him borrow her shoes. In return, Max leaves hairballs on the rug, his tail in the butter, and poop in the vestibule. Yuck. He eats the flowers and he deletes my email to Grandma. Everyone is mad at Max. He doesn't even purr. I'm calling the shelter. We should have gotten a dog. And then they're mad at me. Your room's a mess. He hasn't been reading. Have you even written to Grandma? I still love you, Max. And when the lady from the shelter comes, Max and I hide in my room, and the grown-ups talk on and on. Blah, 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 blah. Commitment. Blah, 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 blah. Responsibility. Blah, 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 blah. Negative. I have an idea. It's our only hope. And I tidy my room in record time, and I search for a book, and I take a deep breath, and I begin to read slowly. Loud. The only way I know how. Out loud I read it. Max stares, but he doesn't laugh, and I turn the page. Can you see Max? Somewhere in the picture. And Max inches closer and closer and closer. He tucks his head under my arm, and I stay perfectly still, and I read and read. Right to the very end of the book. And the lady from the shelter says Max and I should come and read to all the cats to cheer them up. Oh. So we do. And now my whole class comes every Tuesday, and we all read out loud, fast or slow, however we like, and the cats are happy. The lady at the shelter is happy, and the parents are happy. Sort of. Can we please get a cat? 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 And that's the end of that story. There's a picture that the author had of their cat that they had that some people thought was a negative cat, but in the end it was a very sweet cat. Oh, there you go. I like that book. I hope you do like that book. And I think, well, we might be able to slip in another book that's a little bit like it, maybe different. You can see what's the same about these. Let's try it. This one is called The Summer Nick Taught His Cats to Read. And if you look really close, you can see some cats listening. And this is written by Curtis Manley, and it's illustrated by Kate Berube. Berube. Let's try it. I see some similarities already. But this book is actually published by Paula, Wiseman Books, and so we'll thank them for letting us read it here. Nick had two cats, Vern and Stevenson. They spent summers doing everything together. farther in the pool. Bike. But when Nick sat down with a book, the cats had their own ideas. So Nick decided to teach them to read. He started with easy words. Ha, ball, said Nick. B-A-L-L. But the cats just wanted to play. And at lunchtime, Nick pointed out the word food. Food. And the cats ignored him. Wake up, said Nick after they fell asleep. This is no time for a N-A-P. His cats did not like that at all. So Nick made new flashcards, and Vern got interested. But not Stevenson. Stevenson just said "Oomph," and crawled under the bed. Nick tried nursery rhymes next, and then he read Three Little Kittens, and Vern searched everywhere for mittens. But no Stevenson. And then Nick read his favorite books to Vern, who liked stories about cats and stories about fish. Vern loved fish, and he followed along as Nick read, learning the sounds of the letters. And Vern practiced on his own over and over, even after Nick went to bed. And soon he was reading new stories all by himself. And the next morning, Nick tried once more. F-I-S-H. See, fish? Vern loves that word. Don't you? But Stephen said, meow. And ran under the porch. He hissed at Nick and Vern. Vern got his own library card and borrowed so many books that Nick could hardly carry them home. It's his library card. And when they discovered a story they both liked, they acted out their favorite scenes. They dug up fish fossils in the flower bed, and they bounced across the surface of the moon. It was fun, but it would have been more fun with Stevenson. And then Vern discovered a treasure under the bed. A great stack of Stevenson's pirate drawings. Wow, Nick whispered. Stevenson drew a story. We should write the words, said Nick, and Vern helped. When they were done, they squeezed under the porch and gave Stevenson an eye patch and read the tale of One-Eyed Stevenson and Pirate Gold. Stevenson listened and followed along. He didn't run away or hiss, not even once. So Nick and Vern took him to the library to find more books. Pirate books. The next morning when Nick woke up, Stevenson already had his whiskers in a book. And when Vern and Nick needed help fighting pirates, Stevenson found a sword too. Welcome aboard, matey, Nick yelled. Step lively. Nick and Vern rounded up 2 scurvy mutineers. And Stevenson held them at bay. Then Nick and Vern climbed the mast and looked out over the treasure island. And when Nick yelled, "Land ho!" Stevenson was right there with them. Then they all hurried down and waded ashore, and it was Stevenson who found the buried treasure. Now, Nick and his cats hunt for dinosaurs in the lost world behind the garden. There they are. And they race across the yard in 80 seconds. And they journey to the center of the basement. And sometimes Vern and Stevenson curl up with their own books. And sometimes Nick reads to them while they close their eyes and purr. But Nick also likes it when someone reads to him. "Maybe I should teach you how to speak," he said to his cats. "How hard can that be?" "Meow," said Stevenson. Maybe he's not ready to talk. Maybe that was just a little step to read, starting off to read, especially books that were exciting. Like it seemed like Stevenson liked those pirate books the best. Sometimes all it takes is one really good book, and then all of a sudden you're hooked and you love reading. Or at least that's true for Stevenson. And sometimes it's okay to be a little negative, like our negative cat. That's all right. We all have our different personalities, and we can't be chipper and cheerful all the time. So I guess we can just be appreciative of all of our personalities. That's right. And with that, I'm going to leave you with those 2 books, but we will be here on Saturday for Saturday Storytime at 11 here at the library. So if you want another story, come on over. We'll be with the rest of the kids coming, and we will see you then, or we'll see you next week for another story. So, bye-bye.